Time's up. Let's do this.
Hello, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Babael here today, and joining me is a special guest. That is a guy that I believe all of us will remember, and that's Larc. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's been a very long time, and yeah, I missed everyone. I missed you. I missed casting, and great to be here. Can't wait to cast some HoN. It's been a while since I've actually seen some HoN games, so yeah, pretty excited.
Yeah, today we are actually supposed to cast a gold division game in MSHL. That is the Malaysia Singapore HoN League. But because one of the team couldn't make it, they had to forfeit the match, and we have been relegated to the casting of a silver division, which is fine. So it's Showtime versus Team Raintown. Just a bit of a background info. Showtime is the current leading team. It's a complete 3-0. So they have not lost a single week. And this is actually very scary because I have quite a few friends here, or rather familiar names, Akim, Nay, and these are the people that I believe actually have huge potential. That said, Raintown is the second in this entire silver division as well, and they are also very strong. That said, let's go into the game draft here, and I believe I'm going to talk about the band heroes first. We got Tremble, Rhapsody, Rally, Parasite, very awkward band heroes. Rhapsody, Parasite is kind of normal, Rally as well, but Tremble is a hero that I believe isn't very well picked up. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I just think Tremble doesn't do much, doesn't offer much. They have to really look at the hero and try to change him up if they want to make it viable. Because I mean, it's just so easy to counter, and his stat gain isn't the best. I believe before he was kind of overpowered, and that's because of the way that his ulti works, and his stat gain was pretty high at the start of the game. Sorry, so it's understandable that he's not as strong now. But I mean, looking at the picks though, looks pretty interesting so far.
Yeah, we got pretty exciting picks. We have the Empath as well as the Blood Hunter. Now, Blood Hunter is a fantastic hero because it is just such a good snowball mechanic. I believe the first time I saw Blood Hunter in a competitive series game was done by Nox on Impunity Storm, and he just steamrolls so fast. As for Empath, great support hero, definitely with good wall. We are excited to see some good wall action tonight. And Dr. Repulsa on Team Hellborn with Cthulhu Fun.
Yeah,
Questionable.
it's kind of awkward because you have one tanky guy there who's in the front, and then you have one guy who just keeps like zipping in and out of the battle and just does his own thing. Tries to single out an enemy, locks him in place, just tries to burst him down quickly with those electric bombs or poo, as people used to call it. But yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen a competitive game, and it's funny to not see top tier hero picks like Keeper of the Forest or Tempest not even being picked up. Or was it even banned? It wasn't banned. Yeah, it wasn't even banned.
wasn't
So
banned.
I'm actually surprised that we don't see heroes like that being picked up right at bat. And I guess it's just because the way I mean, the metagame itself has just changed a lot. So
Yeah, now
kinda-
it's kind of slanting towards single target pickoffs. That is, well, Magmus is still a very viable hero because of the huge teamfight potential. Also, they pick Kronos on offlane these days, just to let you know. And
Oh yeah, well, Kronos offlane was kind of used back then as well, because he's just so strong. I believe that he recently took a lot of nerfs. He was hit by nerf bat pretty hard. If I'm not mistaken, there was a couple of changes to his base stats and how he actually gains. The stat gain is also decreased by 1, if I'm not mistaken. So it does kind of cut his early game advantage, because the problem about Kronos early game in that offlane was the fact that you just couldn't kill him. It was almost impossible. You had to have like rotations of at least 2 or more heroes to kill him in the offlane. It's just a really hard target to pick off.
yeah, that said, we do have a Witch Lair last pick on Hellborn team. How do you think that adds to the synergy of this team there?
Well, like you said, metagame shifting more towards single target damage. It does have a lot of single target damage potential, especially if he's gonna. I'm curious to see how he's gonna be played. Like, what role is he gonna be at the mid, or is he gonna be going to the offlane or something like that? Because I just hate seeing Witch Slayer supports. I know it was done in the past, and we did see it during I want to say it was the Hunter Grand Finals or something like that, or one of the big competitions back then, where it was suddenly the hottest pick during the time, Like it was that pick waiting in the shadows. But I just still don't feel like I'm a big advocate of Witch Slayer as the support role, because he requires levels and he requires a bit of farm to actually be able to have an impact in the game,
Yeah.
throughout the entire game. So yeah.
Exactly. Normally, you want to lane a Witch Lair at the top lane, or rather the short lane, so you can get as much EXP as possible. And that's it. I think the second benefit is just nicely completed there. We got Moon Queen, Mage Bane, Drunken Master, Bushwhack, Kraken, and Pebbles all being banned out. So, as you can see, still a lot of single target heroes being banned. Stuff like Pebbles, Drunken Master, Moon Queen is just it's just crazy, man. It's just such a phenomenon. In terms of farming, 700 plus GPM on last week's games, if I'm not wrong. And Mage Bane is just, I don't know, trollish kind of a ban. I don't really see Mage Bane being picked up often in games this entire MSHL, but that's still okay. That's it. Bubbles, Emerald Warden. What's your take?
Yeah, Bubbles and Emerald Warden here. I mean, it's a really awkward lineup already coming up from the Hellburn side here. Like, usually you don't want to try to pick too many heroes that require farm to be effective in the game, and that's what's actually happening right now with Emerald Warden and Dr. Repulsor. Cthulhuphon just doesn't really. I mean, he does need the Glacius and the Witch Layer here. What they could do is they could actually go for. If they're planning, okay, there's like two ways they could do this. They can go for an offensive tri-lane here, with the Emerald Warden, the Witch Slayer, and the Glacius. I believe there's a lot of kill potential there, unless they. I mean, they can swap it up between, two of the heroes. It's either the Emerald Warden or the Cthulhuphon if they want, and they can always have, one of their, one of the other members in their off lane here, or they could just essentially choose to have Witch Slayer run in the off lane, but it's not as strong as compared to the other heroes coming up from this Legion side. So it's awkward in terms of laning, but there are a lot of options for the Hellburn team. I guess that's kind of their advantage, if you want to say.
Yeah, well, that said, let's now introduce both players as well as teams here. And on Team Legion side, we got It'sShowtime. This is a Silver Division team, and no discredit whatsoever, but I do believe that they are still up and coming. And of course, the top few teams will get promoted to the Gold Division. So who are we kidding, right? This might be our next future stars. So in first spot, or rather in the blue spot, is Nay. I'm just gonna call him Nay. Don't test my pronunciation. Cannot go further than that. So Nay is gonna be the blue Bubbles, and we got the teal Bloodhunter being played by Puteri Fatin there, as well as Rimau Hitam onto the Engineer. We also got Akim 4 onto Akim. Come on, this is the guy on the chat channel the whole time. Akim on Empath, and V Hai Chi onto the Magmas. That's it on Help team. It's Team Raintown. Am I right? Yeah, Team Raintown. And Ayim's gonna be the captain, as well as Dr. Repulsa. We got Cthulhuphon on Beda. Orange Prada. Okay, that's cute. Onto Witch Layer, as well as Pemain Talor. I don't know. I'm not Malay. I have no idea. This guy Pemain is onto the Glacius. Last but not least, Darling Prada. So we got Orange Prada and Darling Prada. Man, these people. What's up with the materialism in this team?
It's hilarious how you pronounce the names. Yeah, I know you're not Malaysian, so it's fine. But I think
how do you pronounce it?
I think it's Pemain and not Pemain.
I'm English.
Yeah.
I'm American. This is Pemain Talur.
Yeah. It's just so funny.
You will not see me pronounce Chinese as Chin Chong Chang. So.
Yeah. Okay. Whoa.
That is the difference there. Let's not go there.
No.
You're right. So, speaking a bit more about laning tactics, Larc.
Yep.
I know you have been away for some time, but do you think that this lane that we are seeing from the Hellbourne team seems okay?
Legit.
Yeah, legit. Okay.
It's not. I don't know. I guess there is kill potential with the Cthulhuphon and Witch Slayer. You have a couple of stuns. You have one, guaranteed stun coming from Witch Slayer, and Cthulhuphon can just follow up with that. Trample, is just always effective. But I just feel like the kill potential isn't as high as you want it to be. I mean, Bloodhunter is no joke when it comes to his armor. Like, his armor is pretty high for as a agility hero in the early game. I know agility translates to armor, but a lot of these players, a lot of these heroes have like very shitty starting armor. Like if you're talking about other carries. So Bloodhunter is not a hero that you can easily kill. You have to chain your stuns very nicely. and we're probably not gonna see a kill, maybe even coming out after level 2 or level 3, in fact, because the damage output coming from just these two heroes isn't as high as you want it to be. Bloodhunter is gonna be probably fine here in this lane, and I believe Empath will probably be helping him there. We're gonna see Engineer Magnus mid and Bubbles top, so very standard dual lane mid, and they're gonna have a good time mid here, especially this Magnus, because he's gonna be up against a solo Doctor Repulsor, so he's gonna be able to get as much farm as he needs to be able to pick up that early portal key and start ganking around. So yeah, I think coming up from the Legion team here, definitely prefer their laning as compared to Hellborn. What Hellborn could have actually done is they could have just gone tri lane, crushed the bubbles, make sure you couldn't get anything done, push down the tier 1, push down the tier 2, force a lot of rotation coming up from the Hellborn, from the Legion team.
Yeah. So that's it. We got top lane Bubbles here all by himself, and I believe that this would be pretty viable because Bubbles still has got a lot of escape mechanics in this hero here, and effectively that is also huge mobility added into that. And down south it's gonna be Cthulhuphon, pseudo, not tri-lane but dual lane here, should be pretty effective. Nice stun from Witchslayer, not able to do much of anything there. That's it. Also mid lane we got Dr. Repulsa, and Engineer is gonna be here, so that is actually pretty exciting because Engineer and Magnus combo is pretty strong. But the thing about Dr. Repulsa is that he is actually pretty vulnerable before level 6. And I want to see some kills in the mid lane. Maybe that's something we can hope that can happen here.
Oh, that definitely can happen. Like if Dr. Repulsor just gets himself in a really awkward position like there, you see.
Oh, there we go.
He actually can take a lot of damage, but he's actually doing a lot of damage himself. Like Engineer needs to relax. He needs to calm down. But yeah, I mean, if when both Engineer and Magnus start picking up levels, they can easily kill this Dr. Repulsor. Dr. Repulsor did opt for 4 minor totems, so he does have a little bit of extra stats there overall.
Ooh,
but I
nice
still
wall.
think, oh yeah, that won't help as much. Bottom lane, see? Look at how much damage is already applied on the Cthulhuphon. I actually feel like this is such a terrible lane for them.
Yeah, I kind of agree. He shouldn't be here. In general, it's really a good wall. In fact, when I say wall, it's actually the illusory veil there coming up from Akim. It's kind of good because that positioning there was just fantastic, and it's like most of this damage that Beta, oh, I don't know how to say this in Malay, but this elephant here, just basically soak up a lot of tower damage there. So Magnus here is in the mid lane by himself, level 2. We have a bit of a rune rotation from Engineer. He is not able to get the 2-minute runes. It is actually down south, and it's haste rune, so pretty good. Would like to see Cthulhuphon rotate there to just pick that up and probably try and gank the mid lane a little bit. You do have the extra level on the Doctor there, so maybe you can see some form of an action here.
Yeah, I feel like oh, we might actually, yeah, I think he's gonna rotate and try to pick up a kill. They should be able to.
Oh, hold that top, Miwa down south. Bloodhunter, a lot of trouble there. Last hit, and it's an instant death.
Yeah, that's what happens when he's alone. When he's alone, he definitely can be picked up. And like I said, as soon as they start picking up higher levels, mid lane though.
And yeah, Dr. Repulsa gonna get hammered in by Magnus. Down he goes as well. A lot of rotation so far. It's actually precisely because we have Empath rotating to the mid lane because of the haste rune there that his so-called carry down south here, the Bloodhunter took a bit of a fall, but still it's okay because it's not like Hellborn team is completely over leveling this Bloodhunter. He is still one of the strongest laning heroes in his laning phase here. He just needs a little bit extra support, and here comes Empath. Probably with a bit of rotation from the Engineer, they might be able to snag up a kill here.
Oh, they definitely can. I actually think it's gonna happen right now. Here we go.
Up there goes the silence on Witchslayer, and the Keck is gonna connect. So Witchslayer, a bit of a trouble. The Veil goes down there, and Bloodhunter will go in for the kill. Meanwhile, Cthulhuphon just propels himself out of the range here. But really, it's just fairly simple a kill.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said earlier, again, it just happens. The kill potential coming out from Witchslayer and Cthulhuphon isn't really there when you have an Empath that is backing up the Bloodhunter. Bloodhunter's silence is just really strong, and if you can get the lockdown, speaking of which, top lane again, Bubble's taking some harass. If you get the lockdown, I mean the silence from Bloodhunter, there is not much follow-up after that. Like you just have a stun coming up from Cthulhuphon. Like you have to open with Cthulhuphon's stun, and that stun is actually pretty easy to evade if you're good at positioning yourself. And I'm pretty sure these players should be, able to do that by now since they've had a lot of practice. But yeah, I mean, all things considered, I definitely feel like the Legion team is definitely having much more advantage. You see already a lot of rotations coming out. It's having a lot of effect here in this game, at least.
Yep, That's it, Empath rotating back down south here to the bottom lane. We all take a Blood Hunter here. And Witchler effectively is gonna see Blood Hunter a little bit. And Cthulhu from behind, dealing some damage. A silence is gonna happen there on Witchler. And effectively that's gonna boost a bit of the extra damage here. Meanwhile, Cthulhu is going in and the harassment on the Empath is so real. Akeem takes the fall. And he goes down as well. Blood Hunter is not able to do much of anything. That's the bad news about Blood Hunter. It may be strong when he's level 6, but before there, he is actually kind of sucky.
I actually think he made a mistake. He should have just kept boxing out.
Hold that thought, mid lane. Yep, Dr. Pulse, not level 6, pretty vulnerable here. And might actually go down there. Last hit from the engineer picks up the kill. Pretty simple. So once Doctor hits level 6, it's actually pretty hard to pick up a kill. And you might need the involvement of the Blood Hunter.
Yeah, and I want to say that, yeah, like going back to my point, the Blood Hunter should have actually boxed out the Witch Slayer, because his Empath was in a lot of trouble. He should have just stayed on top of the Witch Slayer. If anything, they could have actually, he could have actually been able to pick up a return kill himself. But yeah, that was a little bit of miscommunication, I think, between him and Empath over there, and that's why he actually was able to, what do you call this, get the kill over there coming up from the Hellborn side. Yeah, but speaking of which, like, Bubbles has been really quiet here at the top lane. I'm surprised he's not level 6 yet. He does have his bottle and in fact an invis, so we're probably gonna see him maybe rotate around. He could make use of that ultimate, I mean not ultimate, the illusion rune, even though he doesn't have his ultimate yet.
Yep, kind of the case there. So that's 6 minutes in and 600 gold lead for Team Legion. Slightly negligible so far, but it's interesting to know that we have Glacius rotating the mid lane and Doctor finally level 6 here. So maybe Glacius can stop with the baby here.
Yeah, I mean, Glacius needs to pick up on, like, I just feel like in this game especially, Glacius, he really needs his level 6 as well, so that they actually have some form of like team fight mechanic there coming up from this Hellborn side. Usually, like, Glacius doesn't even need to get that level 6 ulti, but I think in this kind of situation he might need it, just because of the way the Legion team works. Speaking of which, bottom lane, Bubbles already has Invis rune, so I think they could pick up a kill here on Cthulhu if he's not careful, and Blood Hunter's level 6 already, so
yep, there goes. Ultimate, very easily done. Cthulhu actually gonna run away there, and actually Trample doesn't increase the extra distance there, so he may not take sufficient damage, and he will be fine. In my opinion, that should be changed.
Well, actually, that should have been a kill, but that was just, again, the really bad execution coming out from this Legion side. Like, Blood Hunter took way too long to silence the Cthulhu there. So that was a definitely confirmed kill, but they just wasted that opportunity.
Yep, kinda the case there. That's 7 minutes up already, still 3-2 so far. Hellborn team is in a bit of a confused position. The only player so far that's kinda consolidated is the Emerald Warden at the top lane. Level 7 and going pretty strong. Let's look at his GPM. We have him at about 240 plus GPM, which is fantastic. It's not perfect, but it's okay.
Yes, it's not perfect. It's not, but I mean, like, if you look at the general point of view for both these teams, for Hellborn, they want to try to take it as late as possible, because they are the ones that can actually, you know, completely steamroll the Legion team. Legion team, they don't have much late game potential. Bubbles falls off a little later on. Like, he has a lot of the ability to, you know, just force initiation and be able to, like, get heroes out of the fight. Speaking of which, Engineer.
Yep. Okay, that was a completely bad trample.
Yeah.
The Kek is gonna connect, and there is no level 6 on this guy, so he's not gonna try and even pick a fight there.
Yeah, it's just confusing. I'm not sure what these guys are doing right now. It's kind of sloppy play coming up from both sides, but nevertheless, I mean, still, they are. Which was the team that you said has 3 wins so far?
That's the Legion team.
Legion team, yeah. So Legion team, let's see if they're gonna be able to continue their, you know, their victory run here. But looking at the way that the lineups are, I definitely give a little bit more favor to Hellborn late. But whether or not they can reach that, that's another thing that we have to see, because Legion team, there's a lot of team fight, but they're not making use of it in this early game, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, it is. That's a bottom lane. There goes the gang. Cthulhu comes in here. Not gonna use the trample just yet. And we also have a level 7 Blood Hunter. He does have Hemorrhage up. Yep, so that might actually be used here. There's also a level 5 Witch Slayer. Now, it's a little bit sad I wish there was no level 6. If not, it might have been a pretty auto, you know, engaged kind of a position for them.
Yeah. I think he's gonna be hitting his level 6 pretty soon though, and he already has his Striders activated, so...
Oh, mid lane stun happens there. Keg is also gonna connect, and this is pretty vulnerable. Bad turret would have been able to pick up the kill at least if that was used correctly. And that said, Dr. Repulsor does have the regeneration rune, so it's actually all for naught there.
Yeah, oh, mid to
Meanwhile,
bottom.
yeah, bottom lane Empath takes a bit too much beating there, and Cthulhufan gets ulted from the Blood Hunter. The TP is coming really strong. Cthulhufan might just go down there. That's it. Also, Bubbles going in to catch the Witchler, and Orange Panda dies very quickly. Now, Doctor is not in the right spot here. There is a bit of a flying Blood Hunter. So far, might actually want to go and pick up the kill, but the tree just spawned at the right time, and that's a complete 3-4-0 exchange.
That was so terrible, and I believe this guy's gonna die as well. Here we go.
Oh
the
man,
feed train is
he's
starting
fine.
now.
Feed train.
Yeah, well, I mean they were getting a feed train going. That's kind of awkward coming up from Legion, Hellborn team. Like there is support. You already like committed too much. Just back off. You don't have to commit anymore. That was just uncalled for, in my opinion. So a bit of a misplay coming out from Hellborn team. Very good rotations coming from Legion team themselves, and of course big plays there by Akeem 4. Yeah, he baited the Cthulhufan to follow him and then start draining his life that he just couldn't do anything. Like the damage from the hook'em wasn't enough.
Yep, Magmus might actually put forth a gang here. Cthulhufan gets silenced already. And Magmus spots out the Witcher. This is pretty vulnerable, waiting for the right moment there, but will not use the stun just yet. And we have Witchler completely baited out here. Now he sees the Magmus. Magmus goes in, Lava Surge pretty easy, and the shout stuff gonna happen as well. Cthulhufan misses the trample again, and Beta is effectively gonna be dead out there.
Just getting started.
Yep.
He goes down.
Easy gaming for Legion. I mean, like, Witchslayer, why ward then? Why would you want to ward there? Like, okay, I can get it if he wants to ward there if they want to push down the tier 1 bottom, but they're not aggressive enough to do that right now. Their lineup doesn't call for much pushing potential. Their team fight is
Mid lane,
so bad.
stun. There goes the Shell Surf, and Doctor, a momentary silence there. Might not be for his death there, and Ayim will be able to run rages in time. So good stuff there from Doctor. So close.
Yeah, but like I was saying, I mean, like it's unnecessary deaths. Like, I don't get it. You don't have to ward there so early when you're not going to be pushing in. Usually you just want to ward it up if you know you want to push down the tier 1 tower and take a little bit more action. But that was just very questionable coming up from them. Mid lane though, Magmus, no, he should be fine. I mean, it's just a Witchslayer. But yeah, again, this Emerald Warden has been really quiet, despite the fact that he came to the bottom lane over there. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how effective this Emerald Warden pick is gonna be, because I just don't see any of its effect right now, and it's kind of concerning actually for Hellborn side.
Yeah, it's not a strong enough late game carry. Of course, it can still carry, but when your team is feeding 0-3, 1-3, it's, yeah, I don't see Emerald Warden as the messiah. It's just not a Moon Queen.
It's just not a Moon Queen, exactly. Like, he can get farm and he can be pretty devastating with farm, but with the lineup from Legion, it's pretty difficult. You can get kited for days. It's like seriously, there we go. Portal key already picked up by Magnus. Been waiting for that. He already has the eruption online. Definitely can be able to start picking up on some kills and some ganks. Bottom lane though, Blood Hunter again just getting a little bit of harass from the shield. Should be careful. Glacius is here though.
Okay, Trample connects. There goes the Ice Imprisonment, but too late because the pot's gonna come in, and also the ulti from the BH is gonna be used there on the Cthulhufan. Timely keg from the engineer, and this is gonna be a kill here. So Cthulhufan goes down pretty easily. And yep, this is mistake there all over again. They just are too slow on the engagement, and generally that's just yeah. When you're up against a BH, you want to make sure you can go and pick up the kill quickly, because there's always the chance of him just using the ultimate in Ice Imprisonment. That's exactly what happened there.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good reaction there by Cthulhufan to just instantly port, because he knows he's in a lot of trouble if he decided to stay. But I mean, you just can't. Like, there was nothing he could do there. He was definitely dead. Good rotations again coming from Legion team. They're constantly picking a lot of kills, and they're making a lot out of the exchanges here in this game, because there's so many mistakes that Hellborn team just keeps making. So It's a little bit unfortunate for the Hellborn mid lane again.
Yep, now the jump on Witchler, he is able to pull off the miniaturization, and there goes the stun from the bubbles. There might be a kill here. Magnus finishes it up, very nicely done. 14 minutes in, 10-2, and Legion team still gonna try and materialize the mid lane pusher. Hellborn team, there's only one Glacius in his vicinity, and they are just not ready to take up this 5v5 huge teamfight potential. It's kind of weird, because they have got a lot of teamfight potential. In fact, they have a lot of ganky potential, but they are just not using that right. That's it, bottom lane, Cthulhu very cute here, up against a level 10 Bloodhunter with sufficient mana for the ultimate there. Here comes the backup. Emerald Warden, also level 10, is not able to pick up the kill here on Bloodhunter by himself because Cthulhu is completely useless without trample.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, like, even having the Emerald Warden port bottom and, you know, try to support the Cthulhu, there's no way he's gonna be picking up a kill. He doesn't have a stun. He does have a stun from the trap, but he has to land that first, and he has to attack it quickly and proc it off. But, you know, he's not in the type of position to do that, but yeah, he's gonna...
Yep, there goes the stun on Bloodhunter there, and easily might be a kill. There we go, Cthulhu finishes up very nicely. Mid lane, gonna pull back a little bit. Dr. Repulsa is here with the Ice Queen, Glacius. Actually, it's not a queen, I don't know, is that even a girl? It's a guy, right?
Yeah, it's a guy. I believe it's a guy. It should be a guy. Yep, it is a guy.
Yeah, we've been debating about this attire since 2013, and we're still doing it right now. There goes the stun on Dr. Repulsa. The follow-up, very nicely done and executed. So we have Dr. Repulsa completely addressed. So it's probably going to be a trade of towers here. Down top, we're looking at the tier 1 going down. They seem to have a... Nope, they don't have Homecoming Stone, so they will not pot to the mid lane to defend that. And mid is just a little bit too slow to try and pot down south to defend it as well. So it will be a clean trade. And Bubbles not gonna go in, so that's about it.
It's a decent trade, I guess. But I have to say that Hellborn, they've got the tier 1 tower as well top because no one was contesting the Emerald Warden. It's not like I'm saying that Emerald Warden shouldn't be contested, but this early on, he, like, just looking at his farm, take a look at his GPM, he's at 312, the highest in his team. As a top lane farmer there, short lane farmer rather, who didn't really have much to worry about because, you know, he was against the bubbles there. He should have actually been able to pick up on a lot more farm. He actually opted to go for the Ghost Marches into a Warhammer. I guess that's probably going to be an early Shrunken Head, or maybe even... I don't know, I just hope it's a Shrunken Head because that's definitely going to allow him to be able to sit in team fights and do a lot of work. Although the problem here is that Bloodhunter's Hemorrhage, if I'm not mistaken, that actually goes through the Shrunken Head, so that's probably going to be #1 counter against the Emerald Warden here to kind of stop him from, in his tracks, from, you know, moving around in team fights, even though he has a Shrunken Head up.
Yep, exactly, so that's it. 3k gold lead for Team Legion, 17 minutes in, they seem to be in a pretty good spot. Emerald Warden. Larc, this is the question. Do you think Emerald Warden can save this team right now?
It's gonna take a lot of farm. Like, they're so far behind that it's not even funny, man. Like, they're like, I know it doesn't reflect much in the gold and the EXP advantage, but they're actually in a really bad spot right now. Legion team is at the prime where they can have a lot of team fights mid lane.
Yep, nice stun there from Richler. Might be able to save the team there. And effectively, Cthulhu is just too deep in to be saved here. Bloodhunter dives in, and Beta effectively might just go down again. There we go. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Witchler just effectively pots away. Good stuff there. Bubbles is not able to put the ultimate out in time, so yeah.
And they denied the tower as well, so it's really good for them.
Yeah, good stuff for Team Legion, all in general. I think they have this in the bag.
Yeah,
Is it too early to call it, though?
Yeah, it is early against a very strong late game team that Hellborn team has. But I mean, just the way that it's been going, it just looks so bad for them. I mean, the only thing that Hellborn team has going. Oh, speaking of which, Glacius.
Oh god, easy kill there.
Easy gaming. Like I said, Bloodhunter is just so strong in finding, you know, pickoffs on the support players, and he has a Shrunken Head completed already, if I'm not mistaken. Or did he just buy the
Yep,
recipe?
he got Shrunken Head, I think. It could be the recipe though, you're right. So let me check.
I think it's the recipe only. I think he's missing the axe. But yeah, speaking of which, he has his Shrunken Head ready. That just nullifies like 3 heroes coming out from the Hellborn side, or rather 4 actually. Like Emerald Warden's just gonna be auto attacking him, so don't really consider him much of a, you know, spell damage. But yeah, I mean, it's just hard. It's just hard for Hellbourne team. You can see that Emerald Warden's working for Shrunken Head, but like I said earlier, Shrunken Head's not going to do anything against the Blood Hunter here. While the rest of his team is raping the rest of the teammates from his side, he's going to be like focused down by the Blood Hunter, who's already putting out a lot of DPS. Here we go, though.
Top lane.
Top lane.
Yep, so there goes the Wolves. It's gonna come out first. Nice wall from the Empath. That's gonna slow the Witchlayer a lot. Trample misses again. Bloodhunter left behind a little bit. Witchlayer gets disconnected by the Cac there. Well done. Bloodhunter still on the run here somehow. And there goes this nice stun from Magmus. Engineer pops down to him a little bit too slow. Bloodhunter might suffer because of that. But there goes the eruption from behind. Portal Key not gonna be useful there. And that's a nice big ultimate from Bubbles is able to pick up the kill finally on Emerald Warden. Bubbles now effectively might just go down. Dr. Repulsor might be coming in here to just finish off the Empath. Empath is still in a runaway position. Trample is not going to connect. Empath puts out a ward, but it's not going to be really effective. And that's a Dr. Repulsor will pick up the kill at the end of the day. It's a 4-for-3 exchange, so Hellbourne team, not so bad after all.
Yep, they made use of the mistakes coming from Legion. That was purely very poorly executed, sorry, not purely, poorly executed there by Legion's side. And Magmus not getting off his portal key was just because I think he got cancelled by, I want to say it was the Dr. Repulsor, because he just zipped by. I didn't really catch a glimpse of that, but yeah, it was just really, really bad. I mean, they should have won that team fight, and like if you were to look at it at a very general point of view, because their team fight is a lot much more stronger.
Yeah.
So,
well, Magmus, I didn't see, was his portal key on cooldown, or was it, you know?
No, it wasn't
cancelled?
cooldown. It just got cancelled again. Like it was 1 second off from being, it was 1 second off from him being able to use it, but he just got cancelled because he got ticked by damage. So yeah.
That's just unfortunate. But that said, Engineer should have popped the ultimate a little bit earlier. I feel that would have helped a lot in terms of boxing out the opponents.
Yeah, I mean they were really like, they were putting them in like in a tunnel already. Like they were just, it was so well for them. They were just putting them in the position that they wanted. I'm surprised that Engineer just didn't run up and have the Magmus just run behind so that he could charge up his ultimate and blink in. Like there was no need for Magmus to keep staying in the front lines there. It was very questionable by them. And a very late backup by Bubbles, although Bubbles has his portal security. And whoever's porting up here should be careful. I believe that they should not try to take this team fight because Legion team is all their members here. They definitely can take a team fight and win it. It seems like they're actually gonna back off. That's surprising, actually. They could take the team fight.
They can. All the ultimates are online right now. Bubbles is gonna get spotted out here by Dr. Repulsor. There goes nice water in V there, and he probably is gonna pick up the kill. Nicely done. Witch there with the 2-man stun. Here comes the Cac. It's not gonna be really effective. That's it. Trample comes in. Bubbles takes the hit, and we got Magnus coming in with eruption. That's only gonna cook the Witch there, but that's okay. More than enough damage has been done here. Nice lava surge picks up the stun on Cthulhufan, and the tanky elephant now gonna have to run away. Effectively, it's a 4-man stun. Okay, 3-man. I'm just giving him too much credit. On the taunt's gonna happen there, but yeah, what's happening?
Finally, they killed him. Wow, that's
Yeah,
really cool.
and I do blame the Emerald Warden because she didn't port in.
Yeah, like I was saying, I mean, even if he ports in there, he still loses the team fight. No one died from Legion team. They got all their spells off. They have all their team fight potential. They have a Shrunken Head on Bloodhunter. They can't do anything. They can't do anything against the Legion team right now. I'm actually surprised that there is no mech just yet. Oh, speaking of which, Emerald Warden.
Oh, yeah, going shiny are we? So Emerald Warden
my God,
effectively. Oh my God, Bubbles jumps in just like that. That's easy kill. Big mistake.
Yeah,
You sound like
mean,
R2D2.
why did he just port the what? I think he must have been too trigger happy and pressed his Q again.
Trigger happy. Yeah, well, not too good. I'm pretty sure he's not happy about that right now, but he's dead. So there we go. 7k gold. It's still in favor for Team Legion despite the Bubbles misplay. And in general, the whole team is just kind of fat. They are on tier 2 items already and might just go for the late game items real soon. For Hellbourne team, Emerald Warden doesn't have much, just only the Shrunken Head, which effectively is more like a protective item than anything else. So they need more damage, and that's exactly what they're lacking right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, Legion team, they have a good spread of magical damage as well as physical coming from the Bloodhunter. He needs to pick up on more damage items though, and we might even see Bubbles trying to build into a bit of more right-click damage because they definitely they're lacking on the physical aspect of things. Speaking of the Hellbourne team, it's just I don't know, man. Like they need to get their shit together if they really want to be able to take a team fight. They can't take a team fight as well right now because their items aren't as on par as the Legion team. You know, there's only a Shrunken Head and Emerald Warden, but when you Shrunken Head, you go in and you get ulted by the Blood Hunter. You're essentially stopped in your tracks. The rest of your team starts kiting or starts killing off the rest of your teammates. He even with Shrunken Head, he's not even tanky. He's only sitting at 1.1k HP, and that's because he opted to go for, you know, the Ghost Marches instead of going for the Steam Boots itself. So I don't know, man. The item choices have been a bit poor coming up from the Hellborn side. In fact, even Dr. Pulsar trying to rush the early Grimoire. That isn't really good. I've always said this time and time again.
Oh my god, his taunting! Come on,
Okay,
it's an illusion. Who the hell would be standing there?
But yeah, I hate, you know. Oh, look at Bubbles. He's in a good position right now if they want to take a team fight and push down Sour. I think that this is going to be very bad for Hellborn. He actually blinks away, okay.
They might want to go in, but okay, effectively they're gonna pull back out here. Which Larc gonna say hi, but okay, just gonna walk past and not say hi. That's fine. The whole Legion team is trying to push down the bottom tier 1, which in my opinion can be done. They just need to play right. Right now, most of the ultimates on Team Legion is off cooldown, Hellborn team as well, and effectively if they're able to just catch the key hero, which in my honest opinion would be the Witchslayer here. If Witchslayer goes down, it would be a pretty easy team fight for them. Meanwhile, they don't have Dr. Repulsa here, so Dr. Repulsa, even if he pops the TP, is gonna take some time to go there. And they just have to not focus on Cthulhuphon. That's all they need to do there for that team fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done. I mean, Hellborn team is just trying to spread themselves out as much as possible. Although I really disagree with the supports being so far behind because they don't have like portal keys to catch up the enemies. Whoa, Magnus, chill. And you know, if they're not able to, you know, go into the team fight and get their spells off, they're essentially watching their teammates die, and eventually they will die as well because, you know, they're supports. They don't have much to do besides get off their spells.
Okay, so Ward of Wrath spots out Ward of Wrath here. And this is gonna spark off the fight. It's all starting with the Ward of Wrath there. So
They should just go now.
they should, yeah. I don't know, man. They're just hesitating. And generally, they're all gonna pull back again. 6k gold lead for Team Legion, 20s to 8 so far. Might be a jump, but Cthulhuphon is just really not the target you want to jump here. So, and they don't really have mobility items on everyone on Team Legion side. So that is just a downside for them all.
Yeah, I don't know. These teams are just like it's not even a Roshan that you're fighting over. Or sorry, Kongor. Oops. It's like I mean, it's like I mean, why are they hesitating so much? They have all items that they need to take a team fight. They have all the spells. They're in the mid game where they pretty much take over the entire game during the mid game. So. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just really confusing for me. And they're just gonna back off. They've completely wasted all that time, and they're giving more time for Hellborn team to catch up. You see, Dr. Pulsar has picked up the Grimoire Power already. Again, I still feel that's not the best item, first item they could have picked up. I guess, you know, I feel Grimoire Power is more of a luxury item for Dr. Pulsar in later stages. Like, he should go for, you know, items like Icon of the Goddess, Shrunken Head, into like things like you know, Hellflower, silence the enemies, silence the don't let him get up his, you know, his Shrunken Head. Get things like freaking Hex, Culture Sheepstick, like not Grimoire Power. You're literally like, honestly, a hero like Dr. Pulsar with like the shortest attack range, it's like you don't okay, not really shortest attack range, but kind of a very awkward attack range where he puts himself in a really bad position. Like, you just want to zip in, find someone, start shedding bombs on them, and then zip out again. Just keep zipping in and out of the team fights. So yeah, I don't know. Questionable item picks.
Alright, so now Hellborn team is trying to hold the line here against Team Legion. Legion team is effectively in a very commanding position. Magmas goes into hiding in the trees there, and might just pull forth some ganks there. Okay, there we go. The stun on Witchler. This is gonna spark the fight or not. They're just hesitating to jump in there. They're not gonna go in and comment on this one. And meanwhile, Engineer takes too much of a damage to be able to do much of anything. Will go down just like that. Bubbles go in there with a very nice ultimate on both Witchler and Glacius. Here comes a shiny Blood Hunter trying to pick up the Doctor. Will get it done. Magmas comes in and boo-hoo, Eruption it is. It's only able to pick up 2 heroes, and that's generally a huge deal there. Meanwhile, Emerald Warden goes down, and Magmas just so clutch. Might be a runaway. A buyback from Dr. Repulsa might pick up the kill on this Blood Hunter.
I think that's gonna be buyback.
Yeah.
Nope. Okay, never mind.
He goes down. So anyway, they're all gonna pull out there. And Empath, no mana on this Doctor Repulsor, so that's pretty easy runaway for Empath.
Yeah, even if he had mana, his grip wasn't cooldown, or the opposite charges. I forget the names. But yeah, it was a very awkward team fight. I actually felt that Legion team did pretty well despite how the team fight started, because that was very awkward. Like, you saw him stun and then everyone was like, oh, well, what do we do now? Like, they were like, they'll just stare at each other, and unnecessary deaths on the Magnus and all
Well,
that.
at least they popped the Shrunken Head.
Yeah, okay. At least
While
they
they're
popped-
staring each other, pop Shrunken Head. Alright, so now we get 2 seconds to think about what we want to do here. Do we go in and save the Magnus, who foolishly jumped in like that without telling us, or do we, by that time, everyone just jumped on them, so.
Yeah.
I guess we go now. So.
It's just very awkward. And I mean, okay, so we see Cthulhu buying a barbed armor. I actually think that it's gonna be good against the Magnus when he jumps in, but other than that, it's not really as effective here. I would have much rather see him just buy straight up barrier idol and support the rest of his teammates.
Alright, jump mid lane. Cthulhu takes a bit of a stun there from Magnus and from Engineer. Might pop the ultimate, there we go. Okay, may not be really useful here, but Cthulhu gets silenced. Bubbles goes in, goes for the chase here. Cthulhu still very tanky, will finally take the fall. Hellbourne team had 10 seconds to help his teammate. Nobody wants to save the elephant, and that's why they're going extinct here.
That was just really bad. Like, no support from teammates, and like they blasted the ulti out from Bubbles. They used a lot of spells. They even used Engineer's ult. Why wouldn't you come in and help him? He was surviving. Like I said, see, had Cthulhu just bought maybe a barrier idol instead of the barber, I think he would have survived even much more longer. Because he could have popped the shield. The shield would have, soaked up a lot of damage. He would have been fine. And Barrier Idol didn't do anything there. Like, the Legion team generally wasn't scared even when he popped it. They were just like still going on him. They were like, yeah, so what? Pop your barbed armor. That's not gonna help you. That's not gonna do anything. So it's just questionable again. And yeah, and again, his teammates just didn't do anything. No ports. I mean, there is all 4 of the other heroes in the Hellbourne team had a homecoming stone. Didn't opt to use it. Watch the the Cthulhu die. That was actually a really worth team fight for them to take, because they had already used the ulti from Bubbles as well as the Engineer, so that's essentially like taking out 2 heroes from their team fight potential.
Alright, so now let's look at mid lane. Closely examine this combo here. Hellbourne team cannot jump in without the tank. So that's effectively 25 seconds that Legion team has got here. They still don't have the Magnus Eruption. Most of the ultimates are off, are on cooldown, so they are offline there. And effectively, they don't really have what it takes for this next team fight.
I think they should just back off. Yeah, back off. Try to push the other tier 2 towers. Get a bit more ward vision up. The wards has been pretty good from both the teams so far, at least. Although Hellbourne, Hellbourne is just doing what they can, because they're actually way behind. The supports aren't getting as much farm. They can't get up the wards. So I would like to see a gem being picked up by the Legion team, since they're quite far ahead. Just secure even much more of that map potential. Magnus, I believe he is trying to rush that Culture Sheep Stick. He's going to be getting up pretty soon, so that's really good. Magnus, I have to say, so far in this game, has been the one that's really getting them in these team fights and been able to secure them the spot that they're in right now. Him and Bubbles have been doing a pretty good job. Not to discount Blood Hunter, but Blood Hunter has been making a couple of questionable decisions as well during the early games still.
Yep, so that's it. 31 minutes in, 25 is to 11. Hellbourne team now in a bit of a pinch here. Legion team on the flip side, I think they can effectively... I think they're slowly losing the lead somehow. It's just not as compelling as the first 15 minutes there. And Hellbourne team, they have the Emerald Warden factor, but so far... Energizer, man, what you gonna do? Yep. So that's a hold that thought there, because now bottom lane, there goes the gang. Wall is gonna be used here. Cthulhu might get trapped by creeps here. And the team finally backs him up. So that's some good news at least. Yeah, a bit late there, but still at least they come here. Just unlike the first time in the mid lane where that was complete free food. He tanked for 10 seconds. They bash him up for 10 full seconds. And there is no help. They were just watching from their own computer screens back at home. Oh, he's dying. That's good news. What do we do now?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. Like, I think I don't know. Do these teams Skype and stuff? Because
I think they do. I don't know. Okay, now Cthulhufan goes in. Trample connects. Bloodhunter might go down. There we go. Doctor jumps in, picks up the kill. Nicely done. Helbon team will now continue to terrorize the Legion jungle.
that was a good pickup for them. Much needed pickup for them to secure themselves in this game. Take it a little bit more late. It's getting to the point where eventually, Hellbrand team is gonna start getting items on Emma Warden as well as the Doctor Repulsor. Though Doctor Repulsor is sitting 2.5k. Does he have anything in the career? Let's see.
No, I don't think so. I think he's got Grimoire power. That's about it.
It's just Grimoire power. So he's still lacking in a lot of like if he didn't go for Grimoire power, he could have gotten an Icon of Goddess, and the reason why I prefer the Icon of Goddess over the Grimoire Power is just because of the mana pool. Like that's the major issue when you're playing a Doctor Repulsor. You need the mana pool to have the ability to zip in and out of team fights. Yes, you get a lot of attack damage. Your spells do a lot more damage when you're having the Grimoire Power on the Doctor Repulsor. But when you don't even have enough of a mana pool to sustain you in team fights, that's when you're pretty much doing something wrong. So
Magnus don't want a pot here. Oh no, he doesn't want a pot.
His team is trying to run over, but they do have the Sword of Sight to spot them out. So I think.
Nah, I mean, he could have just at least took the bottle key.
They should know what's going on. I don't see why Cthulhufan's still sitting there. Here we go.
So there goes the nice eruption, jumps in quickly. Kak is also going to connect, and it seems like the shiny Emerald one are going to try and do a little bit extra comeback here. We also have the energy field going up, and it seems like Bloodhunter a little bit too slow, but will go in, picks up the kill on Glacius, and zips out of there. Meanwhile, Dr. Repulsor, the real zipster, is not jumping in just yet. We also have the Illusory Veil coming out from Empath. Emerald Warden casting the Wolves, going to go in and slow the opponent a little bit there. And Bubbles with a very brave jump picks up the kill. Dr. Repulsor gets silenced, and that's about it. Picks up also the kill on Magnus. Now he is just standing there and not able to do much of anything. Meanwhile, Cthulhufan effectively... Wow, nice wall! Look at that! Complete lockdown. Cthulhufan has nowhere to run, and effectively he's the last thing alive here on Team Hellborn. Well, Bloodhunter still wants to go in for the kill, and oh, I don't know what he's doing with Bubbles there, but seemed like he wanted a piece of Bubbles as well. Just too hungry.
Yeah, they should just back off. The Glacius just came really good team fight for our Legion team. Nice wall, as you said earlier there, from Empath to lock out the two last guys over there. I think it was the Cthulhufan and someone else, but yeah, again, the team fights. So Dr. Repulsor, because he doesn't have a shrunken head, got instantly shut down as soon as he flew in. That was a bit questionable by Magnus. He could have waited a bit, like the stun. I mean, like there was already the Bubbles was already going in. He could have just waited a bit longer. He got hexed, unfortunately, so good hex there by the Witch Slayer, the miniaturized rather, and that allowed the Magnus to die quickly before he could even get the Culture Sheep stick off. So well played by the Witch Slayer, but unfortunately, it's just not enough.
Yeah, just not enough. That's it. The lead's still going fair for Team Legion so far. I think it's more like a teamfight mechanic. They really have it in them. A lot more Genki potential, and Witch Slayer is just, I don't know, he's just not doing much as he should be doing. The Orange Prada.
Well, although the thing is, the main thing that Hellborn team has going for them is the fact that Legion team is not using their advantage in pushing towers or like even trying to get a set of Rexes, and that's actually going to ultimately hurt them a lot in the end because they don't have a late game lineup. You know, their lineup isn't really centered around late game. Look at that, Magnus is even going to go for a Shrunken Head, I believe. So that's actually it's a decent item actually. Still allows him to be in the team fights instead of having to stay out of the team fights and then counter initiate or even just initiate at the beginning. Having the ability to have the Shrunken Head just means they can stay in team fights, whack people a bunch with his hammer, and just like throw stuns left and right and center, and even channel up the ultimate. Because there's no way to really cancel him. I don't think there's any way that Legion team can cancel him when he's in the Shrunken Head. So
no, they can.
Yeah, so decent next item for him to go for. I would still like to see, let's see, Legion team, sorry, Hellborn team. Yeah, okay, Cthulhufan already got his Bear Idol, so that's a good item pickup for them. Shrunken Head needs to come out for Dr. Repulsor. And there needs to be damage items on Emerald Warden. Look at him, he's still sitting at the same items since like 20 minutes ago, or like rather 15 minutes ago. It's just been sitting at the same bloody items. It's just so bad.
Yeah, bad farming there, but still, Emerald Warden is just about 230 plus GPM, and that effectively means that he's currently ranked 3rd in the team. And that also means that he is very slow. And as a carry, you want to try and get up as much farm as possible. But that also could be because that they are giving most of this farm to Ayin playing as the Dr. Repulsor. Dr. Repulsor needs to get as much farm as possible as well, just so he doesn't die in team fight. And it's got virtually a lot of mana to use a lot of those skills there and be pretty much invulnerable to damage.
I just want to say that a lot of it boils down to the laning stage. Oh, okay, never mind.
That's just a tease.
Yeah, just a tease. There is no ward to spot them out, although if they run directly over the border relation, they would know what's going up. But yeah, actually I'll hold my thoughts for this for the timing because I think there's gonna be a team fight that's gonna breaking down here.
Yep, I think it might just happen here. Down at the bottom lane here, sorry. Not gonna jump in just yet, but still Cthulhu is... Okay, Doctor, that still gets you exposed. If they come from behind. Anyway, 39 minutes gonna be up real soon. They are still not jumping. Legion team all of a sudden deciding not to go in for most of this engagement already. Do you think they still have the favor in this game?
Who, Legion team?
Yeah.
Well, it's 39 minutes in. They have not pushed either. I mean, like, 2 tier 2 towers from Hellborn team are still up. They have not pushed down 1 lane of rank. So I definitely think that it's gonna slowly get to a point where Hellborn is just gonna be so fat. Look at that. Dr. Pulsar has a shrunken head already, so he's gonna be able to do a lot of work in team fights. And I don't know, man. I just feel like Legion team is not pushing their advantage. They're not doing anything with it. They've gotten it, and then they're just basically throwing it away. Like, Bubbles already has a culture sheep as well. Why aren't you guys taking a team fight? Push down a lane of Rax, secure yourself a little bit more advantage, maybe even take Kong after a decent team fight, and then push down another lane of Rax so that it's just hard for Hellborn team to defend. Because they don't really have the best defense mechanics coming up from both players. I mean, yeah, they got the Dr. Pulse who can pretty much just from base zip into the lane and then zip back into his base and then do the same thing all over again. But all the other heroes, they don't really have much to clear waves of hardened creeps. So very questionable coming from Legion team. They definitely need to push out a lane of Rax. It's come to a point where Bloodhunter has been sitting on the same items for a while. Okay, just purchased a Frostburn. Okay, so he wants to get a Dawnbringer here. But he's still, pretty much not doing much. Yeah.
I don't really like the Frostburn on Bloodhunter because I think it's a bit of a mid game item than a bit of a late game there. So yeah, that's not gonna cut it. That's a Babael's jump there. Magmas follows in, not able to do much of anything, and there goes also the ice falling from the sky. That's gonna be a dead Magmas, and Dr. Repulsor goes shiny, tries to pick up the engineer here. Would be able to pick up the kill pretty easy as well, and Hellborn team, it seems like they do have the upper hand in this kind of team fight. But that's only because Legion team, they are just not going as 5s.
Yep, it's I don't know. Legion team is just like they shouldn't be looking towards pickoffs now because Hellborn team is smart about it. They're gonna stay closely knit together. You even saw the quick ports and the quick supports there coming up from the Hellborn team. So Legion team is again just constantly throwing away their advantage. I really have no clue what they're trying to do right now or what they're trying to achieve because trying to hold off until the late game and get farm on all the other heroes isn't gonna do much. Essentially, speaking of which, Empath is more like not even a hero because he jumps in someone, he doesn't do anything. He just buffs up that one person that he jumps in, and if that person dies, you essentially lose 2 heroes effectively. So really bad decisions coming from Legion team. They need to make a little bit more plays here if they want to be able to win this game. In fact, I want to say that it's almost gonna be very hard for them to come back because Dr. Repulsor, look at him, he's 3.3k already, saved on bank. He can go for the Icon of Goddess still. I definitely think he should still get that item. It's very good for him. Yep, he does in fact finally purchase it there.
Bloodhunter, there we go. Nice neutralization just on time before the Shrunken Head. Stun's gonna come in as well, but yep, there is no way they can follow up with this. Glacier's Ice Imprisonment is not the full stun. That is why he can still pop the Shrunken Head and they should bail out, which they did, so that's good. Kudos to that.
Yep, exactly. So anyways, let's see. Legion team. So far, just looking at all the heroes, they have not been getting any items for the past few minutes. Besides the fact that Bloodhunter just picked up a Frostburn, but that's just a Frostburn, so who are we? Who are we to kid ourselves? But Hellborn team has been able to, slowly progress.
Hey, this is where the wolf will
He's gonna
really sabotage. Zip. Oh my god.
Yep, there we go.
There we go. Oh, he's just right there. Yep, the dust is also gonna show where he is, so Bubbles just dead.
It's just I don't know, man.
The
Legion
random-
team, they had the chance to win this game, but I want to say that right now it's definitely out of their reach. Like 43 minutes in, defensive tower still up. Magma's probably gonna die right now. Look at him. He's just gonna.
I think
do what
he
wants
should
to
be
do.
fine. EW, not able to do much of anything. Alright, there goes the Energizer.
Oh, silence.
And yeah, but what's he gonna do? He doesn't have the damage items, remember?
He should back off. Oh, they can turn this around though. Bloodhunter is coming, but Magnus is actually constantly backing up, so yeah, they're just gonna stop their aggression there. Yeah, man. Hellburn team, they definitely look to winning this game, despite using the first buyback there by Dr. Repulsor early on in that previous engagement at that hill there in the middle lane. But yeah, I mean, it looks like they can probably come back and win this game. If you look at the map, it's basically a mirror. There's still 2 tier 2 towers up from Legion side, same for Hellburn. But Hellburn is gonna be really happy about that because, you know, a team like Legion side where they purely utilize their early game aggression is definitely not using their early game aggression right now. Mid game is kind of phasing out. It's already 44 minutes and that's where basically half their lineup is pretty much falling off the scale. So yeah.
Yep, so Legion team now slowly losing the lead. 7.3k goal lead for them. 29 is the 16. Hellbound team on the flip side. They have 5, I think, in general, heroes, but they are just not functioning as 5s. I feel like Witcher can still do a lot more. But even then, he does have Astrolabe, so at least he's going to provide some form of team mechanic in the team fight. And really, kudos to the quick miniaturization, but it's still not enough. They are so strong in the early game, in terms, or rather even in the mid game, in terms of pickoffs, but they're just not using that. So that's what's really frustrating for me. Maybe on the flip side, Magnus might be dead here.
Wow, Magnus actually sold his I don't know if he sold or just put it in his stash. Yeah, he might die. You need to blink out now. Okay, there we go. Yeah, he should be fine now. The dust was even used, but he wasn't caught by it, so he should be definitely a-okay.
Yeah.
And Dr. Repulsor isn't there. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if he sold it or if he just put it in his stash, but he picked up a Soul's Bulwark, and that will help in the pushing. Surprised that that wasn't picked up early on. It was kind of late, a very late pickup. And I think they're starting to realize that they need to push down tower because when it gets to their late game, they aren't going to be able to do anything to fight the aggression coming from Hellburn side.
So here comes the mid lane push. Kind of half-ass push, but I think, okay, it's not even a push. They're just gonna call it quits and pull back. Hellbound team on the flip side, we go Witchler just pushing the top lane by himself. Cthulhufan is just a little too tanky for Team Legion to handle right now. He does have 2.1k health, and here comes a Flying Doctor. Expends half of his mana, not able to catch even one hero. Wow, Ayim. He could have attacked, right?
I don't think he had vision of him. I don't think he had vision of him.
Oh god.
At that time, so plus he Bubbles. It's kind of weird. Like Bubbles should have just instantly blinked away instead of waiting. They're gonna pick up a kill on Witch Lair, that's for sure. There's no way he can survive this.
Easy kill.
But other than that,
oh,
they
Doctor.
can turn this. They can turn
No,
this.
the thing is, Doctor is here without any mana at all. He goes shiny, not able to do much of anything. Empath now a little bit locked down here, jumps into the trees by himself, and Akeem is gonna take the fall for Bubbles. There is no backup. Magbus is a little bit too far, and I don't know, man. I don't know what's there to say. Empath just noble death.
Yeah, I mean there was not anything they can do. The rest of the teammates weren't there. No one has a a bots or boots of travel. They can't really a post haste, so they can't really port the rest of the team. I mean the minions or stuff like that. They don't even have a tier 1 tower there, so that was just that was just ultimately in the end just gonna happen. There's no way you can avoid that. I don't know. It seems half-assed a bit from Legion team. They're sending 3 heroes here to try to push down this tier 2 bottom tower, but they're not gonna be able to take it. I still think they're gonna lose this team fight. Legion team can respond very quickly. And,
yep, they need to back out. This is not like it's like the first 10 or 20 minutes where they still have the absolute lead here. They do have the money, but if they keep dying like that, they're gonna lose that as well. So the goal is effectively going slightly back in favor for Team Hellbound, but still generally it is a 9k goal lead for Team Legion. It was at I think 12, right? Yeah, 12. So anyway, Hellbound team is slowly climbing back.
Yeah, and
the comeback
next
is real.
next item for Dr. Pulsar should probably be the I want to say the Hex. The Hex is just so good. He could go for a Hellflower, but he has to like instantly Hellflower the Blood Hunter before anything, and they has to have to burst him down. So I actually prefer him picking up the Hex here. Hex is definitely gonna help out a lot. He can instantly go into the backlines, burst down the Engineer, make sure it doesn't get his ulti off, or maybe even the Magnus if he wants to, while the rest of the team just, you know, sits behind and starts doing their own thing. Again, Amber Warden, man, what's up with this guy? Does he have problems farming or something? Like, he's...
He needs to
his
see a
only-
farm doctor.
His only item is a Steam Staff.
Get it? Dr. Repulsa, farm doctor? Okay, forget it.
okay,
That is a 400
that's-
GPM Dr. Repulsa. And Darling Prada, darling, you need to learn how to farm.
Yep.
Pretty clear.
Yeah.
He's at 238 GPM. That's fine, but he's stuck at the same items for the last 28 minutes.
I know, it's just so...
He's farming as bad as I am, and
Well,
I
is he
and I
not
think he
farming?
deserves a job here at a casting desk.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I can understand that a lot of his farm is being taken away by the Dr. Repulsor, and ultimately, so it's understandable because Dr. Repulsor is going to be doing a lot of work for him in these team fights. But I mean, he should still be able to find farm elsewhere. So very questionable.
Oh, Babael's jumping in like that, and there goes the hacks down on Cthulhu. Engineer, nice energy field, but that may not be enough. And meanwhile, Emerald Warden goes down just like that because she's just that
Oh
squishy.
my God.
No Dr. Repulsa. This is probably going to be a lost cause here. Cthulhu also going to take the fall. They don't even have the tier 2 there. Did it get denied? That's the question.
Let's see.
Yeah, let's check that.
Dr. Repulsor.
Dr. Repulsa wasn't there, so he was
Yeah,
at the
Dr.
top lane.
He ported back already, if I'm not mistaken. I think he ported back like right off the bat. And this is actually a good time for Legion to push since they've
Yep.
killed basically.
But they
half-
don't have any ultimates up at all.
Well,
So
they
they're
don't
gonna have to
really
deal
need
with
it
that.
right now because they just need to push. The glyph is going to be used here. Are we going to see any buybacks? Nope, unfortunately, no buybacks available because not enough gold on any of the other teammates here. Like, Dr. Repulsive Glaciers can't do anything against this lineup. They need to take the racks, back off, maybe
You
even
know-
take Roshan. In fact, I think they should take Roshan. I mean, Kong.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, they should take Kong there. Doctor jumps in, goes shiny, and all of a sudden doesn't really have anyone to pick off. Decides to pick on only the
Team fight,
empath, and it's effectively gonna go down as well. So that's it. Magnus is in a bit of a cute spot there, and he's also gonna have to die. So yeah, I mean the ultimates were off cooldown, and this is exactly why I think that they should have back once the tier 3 goes down.
Yep.
It's just a little bit too greedy, if you ask me.
I don't know. They should have turned that around. They should have team fight, in my opinion, because it was just the Glacius and the Witch Lair. There's still the Cooler Ship stick available and bubbles, so they could have done something there. At least maybe force a couple of depths and then back off. But yeah, they opted to just back right off there. They do have buybacks on the other heroes, so they should be fine. 6k on Blood Hunter. Not sure what he should. He should probably sell his Energizer and get something else right now. Host is actually picked up by Engineer. Huh. Interesting.
So knocking on the tier 2 here, and yes, Blood Hunter with the wing bow. What do you think about that?
It's a really terrible item.
Oh, okay. Witchler now gets ulti by Blood Hunter, but does it even matter, man? Do you even lift, bro? Blood Hunter now gonna have to run away because Dr. Repulsa doing all the lifting for L1 team here. They don't get a kill, but that's a huge statement there. You cannot pick on the support like that, and he doesn't have the ultimate to deal with over the next 50 plus seconds. That's not a big deal, but if he wants to materialize on one kill, he don't have that mechanic there. Meanwhile, Bubbles goes in for harassment, jumps out again, and defense tower gets knocked on here. They have most of the fight here.
Here
Yep,
we
they
go.
can. Now, there we go. Energy field gonna be popped here by himself. And May on the flip side, Blood Hunter goes in, doesn't really have much of anything. Meanwhile, it's a shiny Dr. Potts, and Eruption comes in. Cthulhu, a bit of a trouble there. Witchler still alive somehow, finally goes down. Cthulhu now gonna soak up most of this damage, but it's not gonna be enough. Ayim on the flip side is also gonna get bashed to death. That's one good item. And meanwhile, Squishy Warden is also gonna die. And that is just one hell of a team fight. Help team on the flip side only has got Glacius alive. He didn't die. Was he even there?
Who?
Glacius. I think he was there, but he popped back.
He was there. He ported back. Yep, it's time for them to push and just, in fact, just end the game right now. There's no buyback on any of the heroes. They can just essentially push down the defense.
There's
towers.
buyback on Dr. Repulsa.
Yeah, but if he buys back, he's essentially gonna make himself a walking target because as soon as he buybacks here, that means he doesn't have any more buyback the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part there. So, I guess they're gonna have to hashtag deal with it, but There we go. Top lane push. And Legion team effectively still has got this firmly under control despite how they looked a little bit earlier. I don't know, it's just trashy items on the Blood Hunter, but it seems pretty effective so far.
The reason I said Butterfly wasn't really good there is because there's really not much right-click auto attacks coming up from Hellburn side, but it proved me wrong at the last fight. Oh, hold on.
Oh, yeah, Zip Zap not doing much of any damage. Blood Hunter gets locked down here, but that's not gonna be mainly effective. Witchler goes down, quick burst from Magmas, and Dr. Repulsa get hexed down. This is GG, man. Yep, this is far from a trash. This is complete steamroll. There we go. GG well played being called out here. Might be the end, but they're still fighting somehow. Fake CC.
Call the concede. Just call the concede.
They wanna die. Ah,
Okay,
there we go. Squishy Warden. I have no idea what Emerald is doing this entire game, trust me.
Neither do I. Yeah,
okay, this is the cute thing. He decides to buy Assassin's Shroud right after Energizer, right after Shrunken Head.
I just I don't know, it's hilarious to me that Emerald rewarded the entire game with free farm, almost kind of free farm, just didn't have anything.
Yeah, over the first 5 to 8 minutes. Free farm. Got a quick Shrunken Head. Then
like
he lost his head. But
yeah, like he didn't have anything. And it's just a really bad lineup strategy coming up from Helmet team. The drafting could have been a lot more better. Legion team, I don't want to say that that they did very well. Their draft essentially allowed them to win the game because their team fight potential is just really supreme as compared to the Helmet team. The main thing I have to go back to is the fact that they need to remember objective gaming. They need to realize that their lineup is what exactly their lineup needs to do, and in this kind of situation their lineup is meant to win and be aggressive in the mid game and be able to finish off the game.
Well, every lineup is supposed to win, Larc. That's the point.
No, I mean like the thing is they're focused on the mid game aggression, and from there snowball into pushing down towers and pushing down the lane, because there's really nothing Hellburn team can do, even if they group up +5 against the Legion team, because they just get wiped, and then that would just mean a set of towers or maybe even a set of Rexes.
Okay, 40% I blame the laning, where they put Cthulhufan down south. That's one problem. The next big problem really is the fact that they didn't really materialize that catch potential that they had so far. And I don't know.
Yeah,
well, just shake it. Let's go for a break. We'll come back and let off some steam first.